baby girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink. I'm T-Pain. Okay, I can't keep singing it. Hello, everybody. Wait, let me see this. Ooh. She's giving blonde. But no, I'm not a dumb blonde. Hi. How are you guys doing? How is everybody doing? Everybody doing good? It's evening. I'm about to go make dinner. So my daughter is going to be on her way home soon. Let me move this. I'm in my dining room. So I just got back from outside. You guys want to see? Oh, this camera is it's so low. I was going to show you guys my jumpsuit outfit. I know somebody's going to say, isn't it cold already? No, it's Texas. It's warm. So I wore this jumpsuit. And then I carried this pretty bag right here. And then my accessories. I've had this Cartier bracelet for a long time. I love it. The gold one. The rose gold was about 5 years ago. What do you guys think? Nice? But anyway, just so that I should give you guys a little bit of how I look today. Showed like 2 homes. And went to my daughter's school. Came back home. Folded my laundry. The laundry lady didn't come this weekend, so I decided to do my own laundry yesterday. Yes, I don't like laundry. I don't like to clean. I love to cook. I love cooking. I'm actually thinking about maybe I should open a YouTube cooking channel. What do you guys think? I love cooking. I cook everything, not just African food. I cook everything. I love food. I love food. That's why I have to work out hard so I can keep fit. So what about you guys? What did you guys do today? I did other stuff, but I don't want to bore you guys with those things, you know. And I'm just in a good mood. That's why I was singing one of my favorite songs, Buy You a Drink. Because I remember when that song came out, it was around that time I got pregnant with my daughter. She's 16 now. She turned 16 this year. And by the way, am I the only one? If you're a teenage mom or dad and you're watching me, say, me, if this happened to you. My daughter turned 16, September 16th. So we say 16, right? She was born 2009. And she turned 16 this year, right? And September 16th. And then she took her driving test. Her birthday was Tuesday. And then on Thursday, she told me, pick me up. I have a driving test. So then I'm like, Mama, you can't just tell me to pick you up from school because you booked a driving test without letting me know. She's like, well, please pick me up. Is this an only child syndrome? Like sometimes they feel like they can control their parents. I couldn't control my parents or tell my parents what to do. I had to tell them everything. Just going to a party in Africa when I was 16, 15, 17 years old, I had to give my mom a notice a week or 2 weeks ahead of time. But in America, most times it's different. You know, so my daughter's father is American, African American. So when you guys also say Africans don't like African Americans, not true. Not this girl here. I've only had 1 African boyfriend. I've had 3 serious relationships. First boyfriend, African. My first boyfriend ever was in America. I was 19. African. Lasted for almost 2 years. After that, the other 2 serious boyfriends, African Americans. Love everybody. I don't care who you are. As long as you treat me right, make me laugh, take good care of me, security. Yes, I work. But you still have to take care of your woman, you know. Call it what it is, you know. I'm not a misogynist. I'm not a feminist. I still feel like a man has to take care of a woman. It don't matter if I have a great job. You know, I like being a woman. I love being a woman. Like, it takes time to be a woman. So why not let the men take care of you if they can? You know, that's how I see it. My opinion is different from everybody else, you know. So, but yes, my daughter, she's like, pick me up. Tuesday was her birthday. She turned 16. Thursday, I picked her up. I picked her up. And she went to go take her driving test and she passed it. And then she's like, I'm going to drop you off at home and I'm going to school. I'm like, what do you mean drop? She's like, I'm taking the car. This is going to be my car from now. And I'm like, I know we were talking about that, but I didn't know you were going to take my car. She's like, oh, Mama, please, you know I love this car. You know, Mama, I made you buy this car, which she did. I've always driven a Range Rover Sport for over 10, 15 years now. I've driven only Range Rover Sport. 2020, during COVID, she saw a Velar and she went crazy and said, Mama, let's change, because I was thinking about upgrading my car, my Range Rover Sport, to a newer year. And she was like, Mama, please, 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 let's get this Velar. And I looked at it. I did a lot of research about it. I went to Sewell in Austin here, Sewell Land Rover. I went there and I spoke to the guys over there. They put me through everything. They told me the difference between the Velar and the Sport. But just because of my daughter, to cut the long story short, because of my daughter, am I the only one? Why am I sweating? That is crazy. Why am I sweating? I think I'm a little bit nervous, but I'll get over it. I had Botox because I sweat a lot, because I work out a lot. I had Botox and it's supposed to last like 3 or 4 months. It's been more than 6, 7 months. And I think it's time for a re-up. Botox on my underarm, that's the only place I get Botox. And it works magic, seriously. But anyway, because of how I got the Range Rover Velar, I switched the cars. I switched from a Range Rover Sport to a Range Rover Velar. I'm not trying to tell you guys what car I drive or my lifestyle. I'm just trying to tell you guys a background. Now, she turned 16 and so last year I upgraded the year to a newer year of Velar. And this girl turned 16 this year and she took the car. Now that's her car. Now I had to go get another car. Yeah, story of my life. So is it just me? If you're a parent and you're watching and you have a teenager that is driving now or about to start driving, will you let them take your car just like that? But she's my baby. She's an amazing, amazing young girl. I can't complain. She's amazing. Smart academically. She's like, she's wise, she's respectful, she's like years ahead of everybody else. And sometimes I feel like, my God, she's smarter than me. I love her. Very athletic too. I was athletic. Her dad played in the NFL, football. So you can imagine the dad had 2 choices. So we say in Africa, a lion cannot give birth to a goat. Impossible. 2 lions can never give birth to a goat. That means her dad was very athletic. I was very athletic all through my high school years. I went to high school in Africa. And then I came here, went to college here, did do sports, just straight academics. But as you can see, I'm always physically fit. Even when I don't work out, I always had muscles and I always did sports. And then the dad was like a baseball player and a football player. And at some point he had to pick between football and baseball, and he picked professional football. So 2 lions cannot give birth to a goat. They have to give birth to a greater lion, greater than them. So I think she's greater than me and her dad. May her dad so rest in peace. He only had her before he passed. He passed 2019. And she's my only baby, and she was his only child. So we weren't together when he passed. We dated for almost 3 years. We went our separate ways after we had her. But anyway, now she has my car, and then I had to get another one. So parents, if you're a parent and you're watching, will you let this happen, or has this ever happened to any of you watching before? Just say, me, please leave a comment, because I like to connect and relate and know that I'm not the only one that these things happen to, because I'm going to keep bringing little stories here and there. I always like to know, I hope I'm not the only one, because a friend of mine called me from my daughter's school and said, Naomi, you let her take your car? Because I saw her, I'm like, oh, you're driving? And she's like, yeah. And she goes, your mom gave you the car to drive? She's like, no, it's my car now. And I was like, yeah, she can have it. I have another car now. She was like, whoa, I wouldn't let my son, because that my friend, her son and my daughter, they grew up together. They're very close. And she's like, I wouldn't let him have my car. I was like, yeah, it's fine. She's like, I know. You let her get away and do whatever she wants. I'm like, but she's very responsible. If her school needs a representative of a student, they use her. That's how nice and good and smart and understanding and what kind of wisdom. And I don't even know how to explain it. I know every parent know their child is the best, but no. Mine is great. But anyway, Towanda, I don't want to bore you guys. I'll keep telling you guys my stories step by step as time goes on. And then Have you hit that subscribe button? Hit the Listen, I barely drink and I don't smoke nothing. Don't sniff nothing, don't smoke nothing. Sometimes I'm just this hyper. Like when you give me, it's what time now in Texas? 6:02 in Texas. If you give me a chance, sometimes you will think like, oh, she's on something. No, I don't do nothing. I don't barely drink. Barely. Once in a blue moon, don't drink, never smoked, never sniffed, never did anything. Get high on anything. No. I just get hyped sometimes. You know, life is good. What's there to complain about? I hope you guys are having a great day and life is great. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Hit that. That subscribe button is looking at you right now. Hit it. Even if you don't like the things I'm saying, just looking at your girl, your friend. I'm your friend. You're welcoming me into your home, into your phone as you're watching. Hit that subscribe button. You never know who can meet something, you know, and we can kick it, you know. Anyway, Towanda disinvited this last episode of the Braxtons. Boo! I got a turning chair. I took it from my store, my shoe store. I went there today and I got it from there. I'm like, I need to take this thing home and be using it to do my YouTube channel, shoot my content. But anyway, Towanda, did any of you watch the last episode this past Friday? Towanda, it was all about Towanda's wedding, right? And she disinvited Tamar from their previous argument, from calling each other out on BS. So now she disinvited Tamar. Now I feel sorry for Tamar. You know what I'm saying? And Tamar goes, Tamar doesn't, I put it down. This is what I put down when I was watching this. I said, Tamar doesn't feel like she's a part of the family. And she feels like they don't like her. But Tony feels some kind of way that Towanda did not invite Tamar. So when I was watching it, Tamar is telling her therapist, like, you can tell Tamar wants to go to the wedding, but she's been disinvited. And she's like, I've never been disinvited to a wedding ever, or to a function ever before. So I think she's even more surprised, like, she's never been disinvited to anything before, but her own sister is getting married. Towanda has been married before, but she didn't do the big wedding. I think she said it was just registry. They went down to the court. Her ex-husband, the father of her I think she has 2 kids, a boy and a girl. But she never did the big wedding that most girls dream of. I don't. To each his own. I've never looked at wedding catalogs. Getting married is not part of. If it happens, it happens. But I don't lose sleep over it. Nope. But anyway, it looks like that's what Towanda has always wanted, because she's excited that she's getting married and she's planning it, and I would have thought to me that she will include everybody. It don't matter. Like, Towanda, don't forget, you are older than Tamar. Sometimes you have to forget about when you're older than your siblings. This is how I treat my younger brothers. My 3 younger brothers I'm older than. You have to always show them how to respect you. That's how I treat my younger brothers. You disinviting Tamar, and she's the baby. You like older than her. Probably more than 5 years older than her. You have to show her better. That's how I feel. So for you to have disinvited her, I just felt like, no. Even Tony was trying to talk them out of it, like, no. Even Tony was asking Trina, is that what Towanda really wants to do? And Trina is like, yeah. And then Towanda, they asked Towanda, like, during the confession, and she's like, no, I just want my peace. I don't want. I'm like, come on, now, that's your sister, peace or no peace. I know some of you are going to say, oh, no, there are some people like, if what happened recently before the wedding, they shouldn't invite Tamar. I disagree. I'm sorry. Because family is still family at the end of the day. I know she's probably just doing it to hurt Tamar, to spite her, but no, I just feel like it's not right. Why disinvite her? Why? Like, if not anything, think about the good that she has done for you as your sister. Just think about it. She gave you $50,000, even if Towanda said it was 30. But let's just assume it was $30,000 or $50,000 as a down payment for your home, and you never had to pay it back. And she never asked you back for it. And I'm sure that's just what we know on the show. Like Tamar said, I helped my family a lot. That's what we know. And I'm sure there's more that Tamar hasn't said. So when you think about things like that, and think about you guys are blood, you guys are sisters. And this is once in a lifetime. Getting married. It don't matter. You have that sit down with her, like Tony was saying. Maybe we should come and have a sit down again. Because she's like, I don't know. I don't feel right that Tamar is not going to be at that wedding. This is Tony. That's why I always said that Tony will always be Tony. I respect Tony a lot because she knows her position and she plays it well. Mind you, Tamar didn't only insult Trina and mind you, Trina didn't only insult Tamar didn't only insult during the argument when they had the talk on the table at the restaurant. Tamar didn't only fight or insult Towanda and Trina. She almost fought with Tony. But this is what a big person does. An older sister, when you know you're older than somebody and you know how this person has been behaving right from time. Tony moved on from it. Because she sees it that that's my baby sister, that's my younger sister. And you guys see how she treats our other sisters, our younger siblings. She doesn't take anything to heart. And that's how that's why I love Tony Braxton so much. She doesn't take anything. No matter what my younger brothers do to me, I'll argue with them, I'll fight them, like not physically, like with my mouth, get mad at them for some time, but I can never get mad at them for a long time. I don't care if we're older or whatever. No. I still see them like they're my younger brothers. Towanda should have invited Tamar. But standing 10 toes down, like, no, disinviting her and not going back to re-invite her. And you can tell I feel so bad for Tamar that she feels sad, feeling some kind of way. And you can tell she really can't believe it when she had to sit down with her therapist. She really can't believe it, like they're leaving her out of it. That was why she said she felt like they never liked her, that they don't like her in her family. Her siblings don't like her. Because she feels left out. And she feels like she feels like they never really liked her. And I've always said, like, I'm surprised at Trina. Even the way Trina was like, no. Towanda is serious. She doesn't want Tamar there. I'm like, Trina, come on. I've always thought Trina and Tony, after Tony, Trina, except for Tracy. Tracy always minded her business. Tracy was like fun. May her soul rest in peace. But I always sometimes look at Trina like she always sometimes try to be like, okay, let's try to calm everything down. You know, she try, except for Tony acting like prim and proper, you know. Sometimes I always saw Trina sometimes like the ones that after Tony, Trina is always the one that always try to be like, oh, no, let's do it like that, like proper English, like half of the time, other than getting drunk and getting arrested and getting in some other, you know what, that we're not going to talk about today. But I always thought sometimes she's always one like, okay, let's not fight. Okay, what do you want to do when she sees that people are arguing? Especially when Tracy and Tamar used to fight. Okay, can we have a sit down? Okay, can we come together? Okay, can we do this if Tony is not doing it? But now Trina is like, oh, I know sometimes you can be over it when your siblings keep doing the same thing. When one person keeps doing the same thing over and over again. But at the end of the day, that's their baby sister. If anything happens today, they're going to rush there, and go support Tamar. And if anything happens to any of them today, they're not going to say, oh, Tamar can't be here. They're going to let her be there and support them. So why not let her be at your wedding? It shouldn't only be when something bad happens. That's when they let each other in. Or that's when they're going to let Tamar in because something bad is happening now. This is a milestone. This is a big celebration. This is a big deal. You cannot disinvite her. I don't get along with my older sisters. I say that every time. But if they're going to get married and they disinvite me, it's something that I probably will never forget. And I know my sisters won't even do that. You know, I just felt bad for Tamar. Like, come on now. You guys don't, like Towanda, don't do this to her. But Towanda, for some reason, I think she's just really, really in her feelings because Tamar is calling her out right on TV. Like, Tamar is like, okay, I put a down payment and you didn't do this one. You do. Come on. There are some things as siblings that you have to look past and said, okay, you know what? Like we say in Africa, if not because of this wedding where I want to do. I for not get anything where I want to do with you. For those people that don't understand, but it's a pidgin English, so I'm sure most people will understand. Like, if not because I'm getting married, I wouldn't have wanted anything to do with you, Tamar. But since I'm stepping into this huge milestone, huge celebration in my life, just for the wedding, you can come. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like maybe they're not showing it, Mommy E, Mommy Evelyn, Miss E. I think maybe she's talking to Towanda behind closed door, but I think maybe they should have shown it at some point of her trying to convince Towanda, like, no matter what, that's your sister. Like, she's their mom. Like, if you want to do this, you need to do this for me. Or is it the African parenting me? Because my mom would have told me or my sisters, you're not going to invite your sister? That means you don't want me there. That's what my mom would have said. As long as we're in the same state, if not the same state, the same country. My sister lives in Chicago, and I live here. But if one of us was getting married or something like big celebration is happening, especially like marriage, my mom is I'm like, oh, I don't want my sister there. My mom is going to be like, okay, that means you don't want me there. Of course you want your mom at your wedding. So what do? You go to you invite your sister to that wedding. You're going to say, okay, if because my sister is not coming to the wedding, you're not coming, you don't come. No, you want your mom there. So sometimes, I think sometimes Miss Evelyn, there are some things sometimes she should step in and say, hey, if you're not going to do anything for me, do this for me. Let Tamar come and let me talk to Tamar as her mom myself. And I'm going to let Tamar know, Tamar, please, this wedding, we don't want no drama there. Whatever happens there, just for that day, woosai, take it in and no drama. I'm sure Tamar will understand. I'm sure Tamar is going to understand. And most times anyway, when they're having those kind of fun stuff, there's usually no drama. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought I should quickly talk about this because, like I told you guys, this is Naomi Speaks Her Mind. And I always tell you guys, if I watch something, if I see something, if I hear something, this is my channel. Now is your guys' channel. It's for me to bring it so we can have a discussion about it. And you guys can tell me how you feel. So will you invite your sister if your sister is problematic to you and you feel like she's a headache? She's a negative Nancy. All she brings around you is negativity. Would you invite her to your wedding? Would you disinvite her after you had already invited her? So now, because you guys fought, you're going to disinvite her. Would you do that? Or you'll be like, no, she can come. But after the wedding, deuces, I ain't want nothing to do with you. We can meet at family functions and say hi, hello, and chit-chat in groups or whatever. But yeah, you can come to the wedding. Or are you going to disinvite her and say, you're no longer welcome to my wedding? What do you guys think? And what would you guys do? I'm gonna end this video here. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, and share this video. And please, don't get too mad that you go to the point of no return, that you're not able to forgive people. Because sometimes, this is the reason why I don't like to fight with people. If I fight with you, right now, I let you know exactly how I feel, and I keep it moving. I don't have enemies. I don't keep malice. And when I see you later on, I'm going to talk to you. You know why I'm doing it for me? I want to be able to sleep at night. Because it takes so much energy being someone's enemy, not talking to someone. It takes too much energy. So when I mean like I don't want to fight with people, I don't want to keep malice, I don't want to say someone and say, oh, I'm not talking to that person. It's too much energy. I'm doing it for me. So I always tell people that I know, why are you fighting with people when you say that I don't want to be around that person? I'm like, that's too much energy. And you're losing sleep at night over someone that probably doesn't even care. So instead, do it for yourself and just be talking to that person. Hi, hello, how are you doing? Yeah, now you know. When you see that person, you ain't got no problem. You're not losing sleep over keeping malice or fighting with someone. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to wonder, I would do it for herself. She should do it for herself. And also, that's her sister. They're not going to drag each other anywhere. They're not going to take each other anywhere. At the end of the day, they're sisters. They're blood. They came from the same womb. Invite your sister to Towanda. Don't disinvite your sister. Don't invite your sister and disinvite her. First of all, your sister shouldn't even be invited. Now, I'm speaking as an African. Your sister shouldn't even be invited to your wedding. They should be at your wedding if they want to come. That's how I see it. What do you guys think? Is it like, no, Or yes, she should not disinvite her, or no, she should have disinvited after the way Tamar acted and misbehaved. They all misbehaved except for Tony. So I love you guys. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Let me go cook. Have you guys cooked? Do you guys cook? I'm gonna go cook. Bye.